In every nerd's favorite series, The Big Bang Theory, character Sheldon Cooper is a master at a lot of things. Knocking on doors, folding superhero t-shirts, and not understanding sarcasm. Surprising because of its prominent use in our culture and in the vernacular of almost every human. Sarcasm, a powerful combination of humor, irony, and mockery, can both strengthen relationships and harm friendships due to its complexities. As Oscar Wilde once said, sarcasm is the lowest form of wit and yet the highest form of intelligence. To understand this harassing humor, we will first roll our eyes at what it is and what it is. Then we'll bring out our inner Chandler Bing and discover how we use it in relationships. And finally, we'll give a slow clap to how natural sarcasm is used in our society today and its surprising benefits. So to first get a grip on what sarcasm is, we have to distinguish it from words incorrectly used synonymously with sarcasm: irony and satire. Irony occurs in situations where the opposite of what you've expected has happened. It makes it strange or funny. Satire is essentially making fun of the stupidity or flaws of another person by mocking them. Sarcasm is a combination of both. Like irony, essentially what you say will be the opposite of what you mean, but like satire, it's meant to mock or convey contempt. Because its purpose is for mockery, sarcasm has to be communicated strategically in order to achieve humor and not rudeness. Researcher Francesca Gino from the Harvard Business School noted in 2015 the key to decoding sarcasm that isn't meant to be rude. She said that both the speaker and the listener have to overcome the contradiction between the literal meaning of the phrase and the intended meaning of the phrase. This is an obvious reason that sarcasm is not understood well through text. A team of researchers led by Ruth Fillick in 2014 conducted studies on over 200 college students to determine how we can improve the rate at which our egocentrism is communicated virtually. Fillick concluded that when accompanied by an emoji, some spelling changes, or some different capitalization and punctuation, sarcasm and sincerity were more likely to be understood. But how do we harness sarcasm in our face-to-face communication and make sure that our friendships aren't impaired? Well, Gino said in a 2015 Scientific American article that it comes down to trust. She and fellow researchers showed that given the same content and tone, sarcasm taken from someone we trust is more likely to go understood and is less likely to provoke conflict. Relationships are often built on humor. And science has always shown that shared laughter in relationships can fortify the bond and trust between two people. But it's important to have this trust well built before sharing a risky, sarcastic joke. Remember, what you're saying is the exact opposite of what you mean. And if where there is a lack of trust, conflict will occur. Another way to make sure that your relationship is impaired is using the correct form of sarcasm. Stanley Lowen, psychologist Stanley Lowen at Health Guidance, noted that the key is not using aggressive sarcasm, designed for hurting people, but rather using passive sarcasm, designed to humor. Lowen said that passive sarcasm will often be used intended at the speaker themselves, or another object in the room, and not directly intended for the listener. Rather, aggressive sarcasm is what harms relationships. It will normally be used to intentionally poke and hurt people. If this form of sarcasm is used to lower the individual's reputation and raise the speaker's standing in life. But sarcasm really isn't as complicated, demeaning, and hurtful as it seems. In fact, we use it quite commonly in our our society today. John Hyman, a linguist at Macalester College, noted in 2011 that sarcasm is practically America's primary language in today's society. He noted that if you're sincere all the time, you seem naive. The most common naturally sarcastic phrases are one word or two. I mean, how many times has the phrase big deal or gee thanks just rolled off the tongue in oblivion? But it isn't just adults and teenagers that know how to use and understand simple sarcasm. Psychologist Penny Pexman and her colleagues from the University of Calgary conducted studies that determined that children as young as kindergartners could understand and use sarcasm on a daily basis. Their study included some short puppet shows in which a puppet made a comment that could be taken sarcastically or sincerely, given their tone. If the puppet was being nice or sincere, they were asked to place the friendly little duck in the box. But if the puppet was being mean or sarcastic, they were asked to place the mean old shark in the box. The youngest children succeeding in the experiment were 5 years old. According to an article from the Smithsonian Magazine from 2014, parents will often use sarcasm as a way to tone down their criticism with humor. A parent might approach a child's messy room and say, "Wow, super clean in here," rather than condemning the child for having a messy room. So we all use sarcasm naturally in our society, and apparently we've been using it since a very young age, but come on, have we gotten anything out of it? Well, Francesca Gino said in that same Scientific American article that being sarcastic will actually make you more creative. She said that this is because it incorporates both your right and your left brain. Your right brain has to decode exactly what the sarcastic comment is intending, while the left brain comes up with your even better comeback. As Sheldon would say, sarcasm adds bazinga to our everyday communication by understanding what it is, how it's used in relationships, natural sarcasm and its benefits in our society. You will no longer need your friend to indicate when sarcasm is being used or not. Well, you've all been a great audience. Good luck to the next competitor. Bazinga.